Hello, people, my peoples. I am doing some testing right now to make sure this sounds okay. So hopefully I sound tremendous. Does that work? So this is just the beginnings of the testing of my session. It's almost like when you used to go bowling and they give you like one or two free balls. you know, that's what this is like. So I see a few people have joined. Thank you for joining. Can somebody give me a thumbs up if they can hear me? Um, yes, we can hear you. A thumbs up, a smiley face, anything indicating positivity. They'll be very helpful. Awesome. Thanks, Mike S. I appreciate you, man. So we're going to wait a minute for some others to join. Although what I've learned is that the majority of my viewers come post production, which is interesting. But I made some notes from some folks that have given me questions to answer. And then there's also some other questions that I'm going to answer just from my own, knowledge, if you will, or my own thoughts. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Okay. All right. So, first of all, thanks to everybody for joining. I see a few people. I'm going to open it up to questions as we go. So if you have any questions, please ask. Oh man, thanks. Thanks, Group Ride NL. I appreciate it, man. I've gotten a lot of feedback of late. People saying that they enjoy the commentary of my channel, and I think, I don't do anything terribly exciting. I don't go like off jumps and stuff, and I don't do like death-defying rides. So it's like I got to differentiate myself somehow, and I think that's kind of my niche. Just the bullshit that comes out of my mouth as I stream of consciousness. So I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody's love for that. I appreciate it a lot. Okay, so I'm gonna just kind of talk about some of the questions I got and see if I like you. Look at all bikes. It's just Super 73. Yeah, a lot of people just look at one bike. Not gonna name any names. But some people just look at Super 73. Some people just look at Surons, so forth and so on. Early on, I had a Suron or a Super 73. The first 30 videos I did was Super 73, and then I wound up getting my motor died, and so I kind of had to deviate, if you will, and started looking at other bikes. Ever since then, I've been doing that. So, have you heard of the Canadian e-bike Rise blade? I believe so. It looks kind of like a Super 73. Doesn't quite have the power, the motor or the battery of a Super 73. Okay. So I'm going to answer some questions that I got from the interwebs, as I like to call it, the YouTube, Instagram, etc. For Canadians, yeah, I think Canadians should be able to buy any bike in America, but I understand you guys have like a 500 watt limit, right? So if that's 1,000 watt, that's kind of sketchy, but I don't know. I don't like buying bikes that aren't made locally. So I'd want to find a Canadian manufacturer. If it's Canadian manufacturer, oh, okay, you're saying it is. So that's probably a good one. That makes sense. Okay. So a few questions that I got asked. OK Doll said there's a K5 Specialist, which kind of looks like a Suron. It's a it's called K5 Specialist, and it's a glorified motorcycle, electric motorcycle. It's 12,000 watts. The website is k5ebikes.com, and it's 12,000 watts, and it's it's cheaper than I can't remember the exact price. I'm not seeing it, but it's cheaper than some of the other bikes you see in that range. So, am I going to get a price ever? Yeah. Okay. So it starts at 3,500, 3,600 for like a 10 or 12,000 watt. It looks like. So let's see if I go to 12,000 watt. Okay, it starts at 3,600 for a 3,000 watt, and then as you go up, into a 5,000, 7,000, 12,000. It goes obviously higher, but yeah, I mean that's pretty good price. It's really rugged. It looks a lot like my Cab Eagle or an Enduro, and yeah. So similar bikes and brands. Yeah, have you guys ever heard of Enduro? They have a number of bikes. It's kind of like the Stealth Bomber look and feel. They're cheaper than the Stealth Bomber. This K5 e-bikes is cheaper. They're just glorified motorcycles. They have a really big center cavity where the 72 volt battery goes. Most of them have hub motors that are really tuned high, and the controller is really ramped up, and they have powerful motors, controllers, and they just rip through the dirt. It's kind of like what my Cab Motorworks Eagle is. So yeah, other brands, Cab Motorworks, Enduro, Stealth e-bikes, Talaria, Suron, etc. Yeah, the Cab Eagle is badass. I've yet to find. So I've now reviewed and/or ridden. Well, now I've ridden 75 electric bikes. The Stealth or the Cab Eagle is still number one, and that includes having ridden 5 Surons, the Onyx RCR, the Onyx City, the Delfast. The Cab Eagle is still the best in my opinion. Okay, so after COVID, juice area don't ship to Canada sadly. Yeah, that sucks, huh? I think every manufacturer should ship to Canada. You guys are like right there. I mean, come on. They can almost walk it over the border, and ride it over the border. Okay. Somebody asked the Spark Bandit or the Onyx City 2. The Spark Bandit is a lot like a Super 73. It can come with like a 52 volt battery. It can come with 2 batteries. It's not as good looking as a Super 73, but it's very similar in that look and feel. It's kind of like an aerial rider, the 52 volt aerial rider or a Super 73. I tested one. They actually sent me one. I tested one. Good bike. A little more expensive than the Super 73. I'd opt for the Super 73 just because they're local to me in California. They're more of a known brand, and I think they look better. But the City 2, the Onyx City 2, that's the step-through version of the Onyx RCR. Hopefully you guys have seen that video I put out last week. It's badass. It's a really cool bike. It's around the same price, $36, $37. That's about what the Bandit costs. And insane shocks, insane power, just a more durable, better looking, more powerful, longer battery bike. So I would say the City all day long. The C3 Strom is making some noise right now. That's true too. I saw something about that the other day. Let's see the C3 Strom. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of bikes that are starting to look a lot like the Super 73. The Astro. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bikes that are looking like the Super 73. I personally like the juiced bikes and the aerial riders because they have 52 volt. I tested the juiced Hyper Scrambler with 2 52 volt batteries, and just you're gonna get a lot more range than you're gonna get on the Super 73. And that brings up one of my questions. You own the Hyper Scrambler 2? Hopefully you like it. So I tested the Hyper Scrambler 2. It seemed okay. I didn't think it was as comfortable. Hey Jacob, hey Canadian Ed Brown. It didn't seem as comfortable as the Super 73. The shocks weren't as comfortable. The seat wasn't as comfortable. But I like bikes that have 52 volt. You know what I mean? And so that's actually part of my problem with the Super 73. That was a question. That was one thing I was going to bring up. The fact that I looked at Super 73. I have some money in the bank right now because I've reviewed a bunch of bikes and I've gotten free ones and I've gotten to sell them. So I have some money in the bank and I'm always looking for like the next bike to buy. I went on Super 73's website and they have like 75 different colors now and versions, but nothing has more than a 960 amp hour watt hour battery. You know what I mean? 960 watt hour battery. Their battery is 48 volt, and 20 amp hours, so 960 watt hours. That's not good enough. They need to have a 52 volt battery, and their motor is still 1200 watt motor, maybe peaks at 1500, has no torque. So I don't know. And I was actually watching a video last night on Discover Plus. That's one of the paid channels on cable, and Super 73 was all over that advertising, and so they're trying to get their name out there. But it's like, take some of your money and instead of advertising, build a better bike. Like, why wouldn't they add a 52-volt option? Why wouldn't they add a mid-drive option? Why wouldn't they add a 2,500-watt option? You know, it's like, come on. Look at bikes like the Luna Banana, and the motors are now, the motors are now 2,300. Really? Did I miss something? I was just looking at the bikes. Okay. All right. So maybe I'm mistaken. The Super 73, there's somebody saying the Super 73 RX are now 2,300. Okay. So maybe I missed that. All right. So that's very good news. I don't know how I didn't see that yesterday. I was just looking at like the R version that has different colors now. And it sure seemed like it was still 1,200, 1,500 peak. So anyway, I'll take a step back and revere them for that, if that's the case. Okay. You did. Actually, you know what? I'm going to check that out live. Not that I don't believe you, Group Ride NL. But I swear I was looking yesterday because I was going to buy one. And I'm like, oh, maybe they've improved their bikes. And I swear to God, it was like, okay, so I'm going to look at the R series. I was looking at the Super RX Mojave, believe it or not. And it has, let's look at specs, 40 miles. See, it talks about it's capable of putting out 2,000 watts of peak power. That means it's still their 1,200 watt. It's not a 2,300 watt. I don't know what you're talking about. And this is their premier RX Mojave. So no, they're still putting out the same freaking 48 volt, 1,200 watt motor with 15, 18, 2,000 peak. And it's just not enough. So I don't know where you got your stuff, but that's what I'm looking at. It was announced when they showed off the new range. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Their batteries still say 48 volt, 20 amp hours, which is 960 watt hours, which is just not going to get it done. Anyway, in my opinion, bikes these days should all have 52 volt. It's like, come on, at the least. Some bikes should start having, same battery. Some bikes should start having, 60 volt. I mean, the Suron has that. Like, a lot of these bikes have a big enough cavity, if you know what I mean, underneath the main frame, inside the frame, to put a 60 volt. Why not put a 60 volt? I mean, people are spending $3,500 on some of these bikes. Get a freaking 60 volt. You know what I mean? I don't get it. All right. So, and the Spark Bandit versus the Onyx City 2, that question I asked, that was from Member That. All right. This is another question I got from Yoda Gang. He's talking about replacing an e-bike, replacing a car with an e-bike, but traveling long distances without feeling beat up. I think a lot of people have in the recent past bought motorcycles or sit down scooters because of the gas prices. In California, it's $6.50. So I think people are going to start looking at long range, high powered e-bikes. If you're only going 15, 18, 20 miles, then most e-bikes will work for you. If it doesn't come, if your budget's low and you don't have suspension, get a suspension seat post. For my Rip Racer from Juiced, it's a BMX looking bike with no suspension. I bought a DNM, David Nancy Mary, suspension seat post, and it was like $80, and changed the game, made it more comfortable. So I think you could ride just about any bike today with a suspension seat post and feel pretty decent, and wear some freaking bike shorts that have the padding. You know what I mean? Okay, let's see what else. So to me, it seems like I look at like Electric Bike Action magazine. I look at Electric Bike Report. I look at a lot of different YouTube videos, websites, and I'm always on the always scouting for like new brands. And they just keep popping up. My God, I literally 6 months ago developed a list of every single e-bike manufacturer I could find, and that list just keeps growing. I think there's like 120 at this point. But you know what everybody comes out with? Everybody says they've got the next high-powered e-bike, but it has a 48-volt battery and a 750 watt, and they claim to have 50, 60 miles range. That's just bullshit. I'm pulling the fire alarm on that one. That's crap. It's not true. So if you're going to come out with a new e-bike, then, have some cool accoutrements, right? I don't know. Have self-driving mode, right? Have a 60-volt battery, right? Have 6-inch wide tires. Have narrow tires, almost like on a road bike, so you can carve and go really fast around turns and high speed because it has low, traction resistance. Come out with, a mid-drive and a front wheel and a front hub, or mid-drive front hub and rear hub. There's something you got to do to differentiate yourself. Everybody's got the same freaking bike. Everybody's buying the same bike, the same frame from China, and just tweaking it a little bit. But it's like you got to come up with something new, right? It's just surprising to me that nobody's come up with anything new. And there aren't enough mid-drive bikes out there. There aren't enough 52 volts out there. None of the standard under 3,000 range bikes have a 60 watt. Why not? You know what I mean? I revere bikes like the Juice Hyper Scrambler and the Aerial Rider Grizzly that have 2 batteries. Why not? You know what I mean? And those are both in the $3,500 range. So most bikes should have that at this point. A bigger battery, more amp hours, or double batteries. Or, I don't get it. I don't get it. So, what else? Okay, here's another one. So for those that didn't see, check out my Electrify Expo video. It's like 4 videos back. I went to Electrify Expo, and I wound up riding, I think, 13 e-bikes. And I have a lot of different videos coming out. One of my next ones, I've already teed it up. I've already developed the video. I just haven't made it live. Is Zooz, Z-O-O-Z, where I review the 750 and the 1100. 750 watt, 1100 watt. 750 watt has 48 volt. 1100 watt has 52 volt. I ride them and I review them. I already did the Onyx City. I already did that little Jackrabbit bike that's 24 pounds. I already did the Delfast Top 3.0i. So anyway, the reason I say that is when I was there, there's so many freaking people that are going to these manufacturers to test ride the bikes. They're asking questions. I'm asking questions, and none of the people that work there seem to have the answers. You know what I mean? Like, for example, the Jackrabbit, the guy that run the sure seemed like the owner of Jackrabbit. I would be shocked if he wasn't. Looked like it, sounded like it, seemed like he was the right age. He was kind of running the show. I asked him, is the battery 36 volt or 48 volt? And how many amp hours? And he said, I don't know. What are you trying to understand? And I said, how far the range is. And he said, 10 miles. And I go, okay, you probably have a 36 volt, 6 amp hour, which I think I'm actually pretty close to that. And he's like, okay, how do you not know that? Like, really? And then Delfast, God bless them. It's a German company, I think. They had some German-speaking people, getting people on the bikes. One of the guys didn't even speak English. And I said, oh, this is the Delfast Top 3.0, right? And he just looked at me like he didn't understand what the hell I said. He brings over another guy, and that guy didn't even know what model it was. He had to go ask somebody. So like, really? You're going to bring people to a trade show where you're going to be demoing bikes, and those people don't know what the hell they're talking about? I don't know if you guys ever heard of Samson e-bikes. They're like an e-bike manufacturer, distributor, whatever the hell they are. That's in the malls. They seem to be in a bunch of different malls, especially in California. And I went up to the kid, 20 years old, and he's like walking the show floor. He clearly is the guy that's supposed to answer questions. And I'm like, oh, hey, what kind of motors do you have? He goes, electric. I'm like, no, dude, like, what do you think? Like, who makes it? Is it a Bafang? Who makes it? Is it from China and you guys put your label on it? He had no idea. I'm like, you guys got 48 volt batteries? How many amp hours? He's like, what does that mean? Like, really? Where's the knowledge, people? Where's the knowledge? Like, come on. Do you think costs are an issue in making more powerful e-bikes? Bigger batteries, more powerful motors, mid-drive, etc. And how powerful to make an e-bike before it comes an e-motorbike? If you look at Burromax, that's one of the videos I just put out of the little Burromax mini e-bike. It It has a 1600 watt mid drive. It has a 52 volt battery with 23 amp hours. These are significant, right? The battery and the motor are very significant. And they put out a bike that has very high quality components, very high quality shocks, hydraulic disc brakes for under $2,000. So I would have said that the battery and the motor, if they're higher end or bigger capacity, are cost prohibitive, but I don't think they are. And they're getting ready to put out, that same brand is getting ready to put out a 72 volt battery version for under 2,600. So they exist. So I don't know what the hell the problem is. To me, when does it become an e-motorbike? For me, it's if it has a moto seat, not a bicycle seat. It has no pedals, and in my opinion, it's north of 3,000 watts. That's just my thought. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people probably have different thoughts, but I don't know. To me, if it doesn't have pedals and it has a supermoto seat, and it's pretty fast, over 35, 40, you start looking at, to me, like a motorcycle, right? I call my Cab Motorworks Eagle an e-bike. It's a motorcycle. It's an electric motorcycle. It's got 72 volt. It's got 7,000 watt motor. It goes 50 miles an hour. It's an electric motorcycle, So, all right. Any other questions, people? Come on. Questions. Here's an interesting one. And these are my own questions or my own thoughts. Because other than Group Ride NL, which I appreciate you, nobody's asking any questions. Like, really? Come on, people. Let's see who's on. Let's see. What do I see who's on? Okay, you're the only one on right now. Group Ride NL. That's pretty sad, but I appreciate you. So it's interesting. These live streams. First one I did, I had like 30 people on. The second one I did, I had like 10 people on. But after each of them, I literally get hundreds of views. So the last one of these I did like a month ago, I had like 10 people on live, and I wound up getting like 350 views. So the problem is, if there's nobody on live except for yourself, God bless you, then I don't get any questions. So I have to like come up with my own questions, my own thoughts. I mean, everybody knows I can talk ad nauseum, but I need to have stimuli, people. I need to be riding around. I'm just standing here. You know what I mean? Just sitting here. Graph 1 batteries are the future of e-bikes. I think next big innovation, in my opinion. Your thoughts? Graph 1 batteries. Not exactly sure what that means. Let me check that out. Oh, graphite. Graphite? Is that what you're talking about? Graphite batteries? Graphite batteries. The largest component in lithium batteries, and they contain 50 more granite than lithium. 30 times as much granite make the battery. Is that what you're talking about? Graphite? Graphine. The hell's graphine? You must have meant, graphene. Okay. Graphene, Graphene. Graphene batteries are an emerging technology which allows for increased electrode density, faster cycle times, as well as possessing the ability to hold charge longer, thus improving the battery's lifespan. Interesting. I got to do some review. I got to do some research on this, and potentially do a review, because that's very interesting. So good call, man. Graphene batteries. Interesting. So you're looking for an e-bike that can go up. Oh, hi, Sharon. Hey, Louie. You're looking for an e-bike that has long range and can go up hills. Well, I mean, it depends. Are you talking about a mountain bike? Are you talking about a fat tire bike? Are you talking about a suspension bike, a city cruiser? What kind of hills are you talking about? You know what I mean? Just give me some more information. So yeah, graphene batteries, I got to check those out. You know what I mean? Because the e-bike manufacturers need to start doing something, because having multiple batteries makes the bike really heavy. Making single batteries with not enough amp hours means you don't have enough range, etc. So fat tire. Okay, the bike you're looking for, in my opinion, is the Aventon, Aventon, Aventon Cinch, or their Aventon Adventure. They're both under $2,000. They both have pretty decent 750 watt motors. They're both really good looking bikes. They're both really powerful bikes. They have pretty decent range. You're going to get at least 20 miles out of each of them. You can definitely go up hills on both of them. I've tested them many times. Aventon is like my favorite brand. I don't get any kickback from Aventon. I have no deal with them. I just really appreciate their bikes, and they have very high quality components. So Aventon, go get yourself an Aventon. I think the Cinch has a 500 watt motor with peaks at 750, and I think the Adventure has a 750 or 1,000 watt motor that peaks higher than that. So the Cinch is powerful enough. I've had one, but the Aventon Adventure is even more powerful. Good looking bikes, high end components, etc. You have the Aventon Cinch, then go get yourself the Aventon Adventure. That's what you want. More power, more torque, more range, and equal quality. You know what I mean? So you already have the Cinch. I'm a huge fan of those. Okay, so one of the thoughts I had, which since I'm not getting any questions except from Sharon, thank you, and Group Ride NL. Louis, where's your question? Will you go beyond e-bikes and try new e-motorbikes like Sondors and Super 73 if they ever release? So I actually did a video on the Sondors Metacycle and the Super 73, whatever that's called. I can't remember what that bike's called, but they're C something that C73. I don't know what the hell it's called. Their new motorcycle. And my thought is, I've owned 18 e-bikes. I've owned 12 motorcycles. I've ridden 75 e-bikes. To me, I would rather buy an e-bike from a motorcycle manufacturer rather than a motorcycle from an e-bike manufacturer. I think e-bikes are, they're not the same quality. They don't have the same components. They don't have the same durability. They're like motorcycle toys. You know what I mean? When you have a motorcycle, just the quality of the metal, of the welds, of all the components. You know what I mean? I've had, I'll get to you guys, Sharon and Louis, in just a second. I've had a bunch of different motorcycles. One of them was a little Honda Z50 from 1984. I never had to replace a part. I had it for 10 years. I never had to replace a part. You have a Super 73 for more than 6 months and something's going to break. You know what I mean? You have an aerial rider. You have a Juiced. You have an Eco Trick. You have a Bike Tricks. You have a Luna. Anything. They're going to have problems. So, hey, Mark. To me, I'm not a big fan of e-bike manufacturers scaling up to come out with motorcycles. I just don't think they have the wherewithal. You know what I mean? It's different levels, right? Honda comes out with a e-bike, I'll probably buy it. I'm not buying a motorcycle from Sondors or from Super 73. That's just my thought. You're looking to upgrade to a Delfast. Okay, Sharon, don't get a Delfast. Same price, Cab Motorworks, cabmotorworks.com. Look at their Eagle. I have that. It's a $6,900 bike. Same price as the Delfast Top 3.0. I just reviewed the Delfast Top 3.0. Doesn't have the torque, doesn't have the quality. It's slow. Don't do it. Yeah, I actually put out. So, Mark, I actually put out. Well, first of all, what's the fastest I've been on my Cab Eagle? It tops out at 50. I've been 50. So, yeah, Mark, I know the guy that did the punching. His name is Will. I used to call him fucking Will. He's been in a bunch of my videos because every other word is F this, F that, and every sentence ends with bro. He's kind of like, in my opinion, like just like, I don't want to use certain words, but let's put it this way. I saw him on a ride. We were at a 7-Eleven in LA. I look over and on the sidewalk, he's taking a piss. Like, really? Not even hiding himself. So he's kind of that type of person. Let's just leave that. Let's just let those actions speak for themselves. Doesn't surprise me. He really thinks he's a badass. He's always talking himself up. He's always talking shit about things, about people. It doesn't surprise me at all. If you were to say like who that's been with LA Skate for more than a year hit somebody, I'd say Will. And I actually did a post on LA Skate last night, and there were like 50 comments, and everybody was talking about it. 1 second, Louis. And one of the owners, one of the, whatever the hell you call them, the proctors of the LA Skate YouTube, whatever it is, Facebook group said, "Are you trying to sabotage us with this crap, posts? And are you trying to anger people?" I don't know, dude. I was actually trying to reach Will. My thing started out with like, "You're an idiot, Will. Grow the hell up." And so they took it down. But yeah, I heard about that. I think it's totally unprofessional, totally ridiculous. I've taken 10 years of jujitsu and jeet kune do. I can Wing Chun. I'm not a martial artist, but I can definitely block punches, and I can put a lot of power behind my punches. And I know a lot of like wrist break techniques and all that kind of stuff. So if I was there, I would have tackled his ass, and I would have told him to get the fuck off, and I would have called him a punk. But there's no room for that shit. If you can't handle yourself when somebody's bike whiskey throttles, just grow the fuck up. Tell the guy he owes you money to fix it. Fix your bike, right? Whatever the hell it was. So that was total shit. Okay. Yeah, totally wrong. Yeah, affiliate links. If you go to cabmotorworks.com, I know they have on their website the ability to buy the bike through the website and put a coupon code. They've yet to give me that coupon code. But if you call Cab Motor Works, that's how I bought mine, and you buy it over the phone, and you tell them the frickin' shredder sent you, you get $300 bucks. So do that. All right. Yeah, that was totally wrong. Okay, here's a something I've been trying to get to. So I've been riding. I ride my electric bikes when I see road bikes, non-electric bikes, and I've been riding my road bike when I see electric bikes. If you're gonna ride an electric bike, pass people on like non-electric bikes, right? Let's check this out. Isn't that cool? My son used to work at TJ Maxx, and they have these cool pants. Anyway, if you ride an electric bike, pass somebody going up a hill on a non-electric bike, you gotta say something. My wife and I go on this like 27-mile ride in Ventura to Ojai in California, and it's like 800 feet up and then 800 feet back, like 27 miles round trip, and we're busting our ass going up this hill that's like a 5-mile ascent, and all these people fly by us on their electric bikes, and they're acting like they're huffing and puffing. Come on, give me a sorry guys, electric and whatever. Just give me some recognition that I'm working my ass off and you guys aren't doing shit. So that's just kind of one of my pet peeves. And when I ride my electric bike, I say that to people like, electric bike, God bless you. You're working harder than me. You're losing weight. I'm not. You know what I mean? So appreciate group ride. And then when I'm on my road bike and somebody rides by an electric bike, I go, electric. You know what I mean? I call you out. Because it's bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, come on. So I went on a electric bike ride around here. It was called Cruising the Conejo. Not an electric bike, a regular non-electric road bike ride. Just a road bike ride. It was called Cruising the Conejo. It was 35 miles. I went on it with like 30 other people. And on that ride, have you guys heard of Pedigo? They're a commercial e-bike brand. Bikes are very overpriced. I've actually reviewed some. You can check it out on my channel. And they brought electric bikes, and they were riding the electric bikes while we're huffing and puffing up these freaking hills. And I was so freaking upset. Like later, I was telling my buddy that I was with, like, that's so freaking not okay. Like, come on. It's a freaking road bike race, and you're bringing a freaking electric bike. So it's funny to me that there shouldn't be any meshing. If there's meshing, you got to call it out. You know what I mean? That's my thought. Do I have Tourette's or allergies? I do have allergies. I have postnasal drip. That's why I'm always clearing my throat. I take medicine for it. It would be way worse if I didn't. And do I have Tourette's? No. I just have a lot of energy, people. A lot of energy, okay? I've always had a lot of energy. People always talk about it. So if I had Tourette's, I'd be like, fuck, shit, bitch, cunt, sword, cunt, hooker, bitch, slut. If I had Tourette's, I'd be doing that. I don't. Got a bit less people that have Tourette's. It sucks. And, but no, I don't have Tourette's. But I appreciate you bringing that up, Louie. That was really a great idea. A great idea to bring that up on this podcast, whatever the hell this is. You know what cracks me up is people that clearly, hey RS, people that don't know how to control their bikes. So I'm not going to name names, but I was on one ride, and somebody had a Suron, and he whiskey throttled it. I mean, and then, it flew in the air. This other guy that Will wound up punching for no viable reason, was totally uncalled for. He had a Saran and he whiskey throttled it. I've seen people on mid-drive bikes that they're too powerful and they're trying to go up hills and they have to lean forward, and if they don't, the bike flies out. Like, to me, it's like, if you're gonna buy a high-powered bike, then freaking learn how to ride it. You know what I mean? Watch some videos of people like me who have ridden them. Look at the manufacturer's YouTube channel where they tell you how to ride them. It's like, I mean, it's just unbelievable. Some of these people, yeah, a lot of these people do get very excited and they go bang, they pull the trigger and they buy a bike they can't handle. So I don't know. I went on a group ride recently. This person's going to know who they are. I'm not going to mention them by name. And this person has a Saran, and cool guy. I like him a lot. And he bought the Shinko tires that I have on my Cab Motorworks bike, which are really good motorcycle tires, but they don't have a lot of knobbies on the side. They have knobbies on the top and not on the side. So it's kind of hard to take turns really sharp around a corner. And this kid did it. He fell 5 times when I went riding with him 2 weeks ago. It's just, you got to know the power and the capabilities of your bike. If you don't, A, you're going to kill yourself. B, your bike's going to fly in the air and hit somebody and screw up their shoes and hurt their bike. Or your bike's going to just like freaking fly off a freaking cliff. You know what I mean? These are powerful machines, people. You know, it's like driving a car, but not knowing how. You know what I mean? Some of these people, in my opinion, if you have like this is my opinion, and I have a motorcycle license, but in my opinion, if you have a bike that has a 72-volt battery and it has north of a 5,000 watt motor or a 3,000 watt mid-drive, 5,000 hub or 3,000 mid-drive, that's a powerful freaking bike. And if it goes 50 miles an hour or north, you should have a motorcycle license, in my opinion. I know a lot of people hate me when I say that, but it's true. And I have a motorcycle license, but it's like, people, if you don't know what the hell you're doing, like, Jesus Christ. So what safety gear do I wear? Look at some of my videos, people. You'll see I wear an enduro helmet with the face. I wear elbow pads, Fox Racing elbow pads with like the actual hard shell. I wear Fox Racing knee pads. I have a Troy Lee Designs entire freaking vest that I put over me that has pads on the shoulder, the stomach, the back. I wear BMX shorts with pads in the front, back, and etc. I wear the same knee pad. I wear knee pads. I wear shin pads. Like, really? The only part of my body that isn't covered is the back of my knee, and there's not a whole lot that could happen there. So yeah, I overprotect, people. I've had some some wrecks. It's just not worth it. You know, I've got a job. You know what I mean? So yeah, EB Rider. I didn't. Thanks for coming. I didn't give a lot of notice on this one. I gave like 5 hours maybe. I made a note earlier in my community tab that I was soliciting questions. I knew I was going to do a live stream this week, and I forgot, to be honest with you, until like earlier today. So sorry about that. EB Rider, I saw one of your videos last night. Cool stuff. Hopefully your channel grows. I always give people advice. I can't remember if it was you or not, but some people that are starting out with YouTube channels, God bless you, and I hope you grow, and good for you. The more videos you put out, obviously, the faster you grow. But I would advise, if you're small, like you are right now, join a bunch of e-bike groups, right? There's tons of electric bike groups, e-bike USA, electric bike, whatever. There's tons of them. And post your videos on there. That's how I got started. Okay. Where do you see your channel going? Do you think you will ever go overseas and check out the e-bike scene in Europe, for example? Good question. My e-bike channel is growing. I'm actually starting to make some money. I'm nearing 4,000 subscribers. I've reached critical mass where things are all starting to go up like this. My revenue, my subscribers, my viewers, and my time watched are all going up like this, which is awesome. I see my channel continuing to be e-bikes, continuing to be, I look at it as three ways, a three-way channel. One, I ride and I bullshit, and people like that. 2, I go on group rides and I bullshit with other people. 3, I do reviews. Actually, okay, so there's 4. And 4, I do things like when I did those, TikTok, I pulled together a bunch of TikTok videos of people wrecking their bikes or bikes catching fire and stuff. So those are the kind of videos I think I'm just going to continue to put out. I see bikes continuing to go up, and my channel is going to continue to go up. Maybe one day, maybe I'll consider doing electric motorcycles. You know what I mean? If I get my hands on one, maybe that's where I'll morph to. I don't know if you guys saw it, but there's a company that is licensing the Honda brand, and they have an electric motorcycle that looks like the 125cc little Honda mini bike called the Grom, and it's all electric. So, I can't buy any more motorcycles. My wife would probably divorce me. I'm looking over there because she just walked outside. I promised her I wouldn't buy motorcycles anymore. But if I could get my hands on one to test, I would. And so that might be where I take my channel next. Anything else, people? We're at like 41 minutes. I don't know. If I was going to join a thing like this, I would have questions, people. You know what I mean? Like, what are your questions? Because there's only so much I can talk about just off the cuff. You know what I mean? Like, what do you got, EB Rider? What do you got for me? Louie, what else? One thing I will say, I actually kind of prime this in my promotion of this little podcast, whatever the hell this is called. Hey, Mark, is that little Burromax 1600 that I did a video of two of my last 3 videos were about it. Check it out. It's a little mini bike size e-bike, no pedals, so it's more of like a e-mini motorcycle. And it has a 1600 watt mid-drive. It has a 52 volt, 23 amp hour battery. It has hydraulic disc brakes. It has full suspension. I'm getting it modded. I'm getting a 72 volt battery. I'm getting a 3000 watt mid-drive. I'm getting an extended swing arm. So when you take off, it has more stability and it's not going to pop wheelies. And yeah, that thing's going to be badass. It'll probably, seriously, no joke, people, go 75 miles an hour. Not that I will. God bless, I would never do that. But yeah, so I'm looking at getting that thing modded so I can take it on rides, long rides. And it's just a badass little bike. I'm very excited about it. So that's kind of like what my next mod plans are. And I have somebody helping me do that. And I'm excited about it. I think I'm dropping it off tomorrow or the next day. Hello. Do I have Tourette's? That's funny. For those that didn't look back, somebody asked me if I had Tourette's. No, I don't. I look at that as a badge of honor, and I take it as a compliment. It means I'm lively, right? What up, TK? Tall kid? I don't know. What the hell's TK stand for? Tiny ketchup bottle? I don't know. Anyway, what else you got for me, people? You guys heard of the Zoos? ZOOZ? That's my next review coming out. I'm comparing. It's like the ultimate BMX bike. It's chromoly frame, has no suspension. It looks like a BMX bike from years ago. It's got a battery underneath the crossbar, or the main bar from the seat to the handlebars. And I'm excited about that. Let's see. I also have reviews coming out for 4 different Aventon bikes. I'm not doing bikes I've already ridden, already reviewed. I have a review coming out of the Pace, of the Adventure, of the Level, and of the Solterra. 4 Aventon bikes coming out. Let's see what else I have. Let's see what else. I have other stuff, people. I have other stuff. Let's see. Footage to develop. What else do I have? Oh, and I also have a one coming out about the Go Cycle. The Go Cycle G4. Very overpriced. Carbon fiber. Underpowered. Light. Electric bike. The guy loves his bikes. Thinks they're like, space age types, materials, whatever. Dude. Things are slow and they're expensive. But yeah, that's what I've got coming up. So a lot of cool stuff coming up, people. I'm gonna have to close this down unless I get some questions, people. There's only so much I can talk about at 9:44 on a Friday night without any alcohol in me. You know what I mean? This is a substanceless freaking shredder, right? I got nothing in me. This is all sober all the time. So imagine if I am drunk or if I'm high. Talk about Tourette's. It would certainly seem like it. But yeah, I appreciate you guys coming. I'm going to wait a couple of minutes here, see if anybody has any final questions for me. In the meantime, I'm going to reach back and get some air because it's freaking hot in here, and I got the air conditioner cranking. What else? It's hard to just come up with questions, people. Oh man, you know what? I didn't freaking realize. Sorry, guys, that the freaking I closed the chat for some reason. Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. Jesus Christ. Sorry, people. Where is the next group ride? In LA area. Go on Facebook and check out LA Skate or LA area Skate. Check out LA PEV, Personal Electric Vehicles, and check out Easy Riders. Those are all those are some local groups, and they post their rides. That's where you find them. So I still have a little Luna mid drive EB Rider. I sold it like a month ago. I bought it for $1,800 and I sold it for like $1,600 to a guy who knows a lot about e-bikes and might start parsing out the pieces and using it for other stuff. But he was pretty excited about it. I just don't have a need for it. I have too many bikes. Right now I have 5 electric bikes. I'm always trying to get rid of them. Right now I'm trying to sell my Rip Racer from Juiced. I just don't need it. I'm trying to sell my V-Volt Sirius. I'm going to create the Sons of E-City Biker Gang. Sure. Let's do it. That's sick. Velo Wave on Amazon looks like Aventon's ever tested one. Velo Wave. No, but I've heard of them. There's so many bikes that look like other bikes, and that's because you can get the frames from a warehouse in China and put your own spin on them. You know what I mean? So let's see. Velo Wave e-bike. I'm looking right now. Yeah, it looks just like a freaking the Zebra from Himaway. Looks exactly like it. You know what I mean? Looks a lot like the Aventon Adventure. Half these bikes look exactly the same. You know. Let's see what else. Got a 1,000 watt one coming soon. 75 miles. Holy shit. Yeah, that's a freaking bike, man. If you don't have a motorcycle license, just be careful. Jesus. I mean, that's some power. That's a lot of freaking power. You can get yourself in a lot of trouble. The tendency is to just rip it and go top speed. You better freaking have full pads, man. Not just like soft pads, but hard pads, like hard shell pads. Because if you go sliding, and at those speeds, I would have Kevlar jeans so they don't rip off when you go sliding. That's some freaking power, people. Can you rent a Fat Tire e-bikes in the States for tourists or whatever? I'm sure you can. There are a lot of places around here you can rent them, but they don't seem to really be too many fat bikes. I know in LA there's tons of places for like around Santa Monica, Venice, you can rent them. Sure. Better hit some sweet jumps on the zoos. No, I didn't buy the zoos. I tested it at Electrify Expo. So sorry, Louis, no jumps. how do I get into group rides? Where do I find them and where? Okay, I said that. You bought a Frickin controller for your BB SHD. What kind of amps does that put out? It's a ASI Phase Runner hybrid controller. It uses the Phase Runner software for programming. Well, ASI puts out the BAC 4000, 8000. So is it comparable to one of those? Louis Hills here, yeah. So, wow. Sorry, people. I didn't realize you guys were all still there and you all still had all these questions. Up to 90 amps peak. All right. So you got to have a 15,000 watt. Damn. That's insane. You know, obviously it's got a 72 volt. How many amp hours you got on that thing? Because you're going to be putting a lot of, amps through through to that battery. You're probably going to be taxing it. Hopefully you have a nice up to 90 amps. Okay, yeah. Hopefully you have a nice battery on that. 41 amp hour. All right. Good for you. Good for you. Interesting. A Frickin roller controller. I'm actually getting EB Rider and Louis confused. I'm sorry, guys. You're both kind of hit me with the same similar things. So Louis, that sounds like a badass bike. EB Rider, that sounds like a badass controller. And the Frickin, okay, yeah. What kind of bike are you putting that on, EB Rider? And have you guys seen the Luna? Their new folding bike. They don't even have the old folding bike that I had. Luna Cycle. Yeah. Have you guys even seen their new folding bike? It's got it's called the Luna Eclipse for $1,400, and it's a hub motor. It's let's see what it's got. 20 by 4 inch, 48 volt, 14 amp hour. I had a 52 volt on my folding bike. They should have a 52 volt. 1,000 watt rear hub. 20 amps continuous from the controller. Not very powerful. Twist throttle, 5 assist levels. Yeah. I mean, it looks fine. And it's foldable. It's got some rear suspension and front suspension. Okay. I mean, it'd be comparable to like a Luna folding bike. It looks a lot like electric, but obviously a lot more powerful than both of those. I'm assuming lighter than both of those, better looking than both of those. Electric has no suspension. It has front and rear suspension. The Aventon Cinch only has front suspension, and it's got a more powerful motor. So yeah, I mean, it seems pretty cool. People keep asking me if I'm going to buy one. I really don't want one, but I might have to wind up getting one because there's not a lot of reviews of them, and people keep bothering me. So that might be coming soon. That's that 1,000 watts is peak. Oh, so is it a 750? 1,000 watt of rear hub power. So it must be a 750 then. Yeah, top speed of 25. So yeah, it's probably a 750. Yep, 750 nominal. Okay. So it's actually pretty close to like an Aventon Cinch, but it doesn't. Does it have fat tire? Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I don't know. It's interesting. It has street tires. So why would you have full suspension on a bike that has street tires? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Where are you going with that thing? You know, it's really sad. People have been playing with my TJ Maxx pen that my son got me, and I screwed it up. Shit. Anybody know how to put a pen back together? God damn it. Anyway. So yeah, anyway, I'm always looking for new bikes to test, review, and we'll see. That might be one that I buy just to test it out. Got to jump them curbs, bro. Dude, I don't know about you, EB Rider, but I'm 50 years old. I just turned 50 a few days ago, and those days have kind of left me. I don't see myself doing a lot of jumping. You know what I mean? Not that I probably would have when I was a kid anyway, but like definitely not now. You know what I mean? I got the house, the mortgage, the kid, the job, and there's just no way. You know what I mean? You're older than me, really. So do you jump curbs? Do you do wheelies? You know, I mean, I'd love to hear that. I'd love to see that. So, Come on, is my pen gonna come back to life? I might just have to just not use the pen, but just like, man, if my son sees this, he's gonna get really pissed off. Have you tried the electric surfboards popping up? I saw one in the wild for the first time. Oh, like what is it called? Hydrofoil? Man, I have the worst knees. I can't even freaking ride a skateboard. I'd love to. You know what I want more than anything in this world is a one wheel. But I bought a cycle board, which is like one of the most powerful, not most powerful, it was at the time, but it's pretty powerful, big surfboard looking scooter with two wheels in the front and one in the back. Really powerful motor. And I almost broke my freaking knees just going too fast, having to lean. My knees are screwed up. You know what I mean? So it's like, there's no way. I feel like that ship sailed. I feel like the electric motor category, the PEV category, came too late. You know what I mean? It's like, I lost my hair. I'm getting older. You know what I mean? So it's like, I just don't see any of that stuff happening. You know what I mean? I have yet to get on, believe it or not. I've never been on an electric stand-up scooter ever, because I was on my son's one of those little, silver ones that by Razor, and I went down the driveway and I almost died. You know what I mean? I just don't have the knees anymore. I rode skateboards all the time as a kid. I just have terrible knees now, so it ain't gonna happen. You guys ever heard of the HPC? Go to HPC, High Performance Cycle Bikes, hpcbikes.com. It's like a Luna type company with very high quality bikes, high powered bikes. And they've got some really cool, powerful mid-drive bikes, but they have no rear suspension, which annoys the shit out of me. But like 3,000 watt mid-drive. I had a 750 watt mid-drive, and that thing would just blow up. The thing would just fly out from under you. I literally have a scar. Where is it? I have a scar on one of these knuckles from the 750 watt just flying out from under me. Amazon has that Gromish bike called the Say Yeah. Huh. Anyway, yeah, check out hpcbikes.com. They have some really badass bikes, but they promised me a year ago they would let me review one, and they even told me which one, and then they just blew me off. And they're not into like having people test ride bikes either. So I don't know. I'm not like a huge fan of the company, but their bikes look very intriguing. So check that out. The Orange Titan looks like, yeah, exactly. That's the one they were going to let me ride. They were going to let me test that out and take it home. And they just totally ghosted me. Just like, that's bullshit. I don't like that at all. But they have like these badass bikes. Like, Jesus Christ. Any Revo bikes? No. Revo? Thank God for powerful internet, people. Whoa. What the hell is the Revo? It's got no spokes. Got no mag wheels. That looks interesting. At least that's an innovation. I like that. They've come up with something new. Wow, I gotta check that out. That looks pretty interesting, people. Check it out. Hubless homie, yeah, for sure. That's interesting. It almost feels weird. It'd be like riding a car without wheels, just having the tires. You know what I mean? It's bizarre. I don't know. I'm trying to look at the technical specifications right now. 750 watt. Really? That's it? Come on. 20 miles top speed. Jesus Christ. 37 miles range. So it's probably got like a 15 amp hour. They're saying it's 37 miles. Bullshit. So it's badass looking. It's like a fighter jet look, but it's got a 750 watt motor. Like, really? Come on. That's what I'm saying, people. You can't have bikes with 750 watt anymore. It's just not powerful enough. It's bullshit. In the US anyway. Yeah, it's good looking, but it's just too freaking small. The capabilities are too low. Yeah, like bikes like that are coming out with like, all these different accoutrements, biometric access and all this stuff. I don't know if you guys saw the Delfast top 3-point-i that I reviewed. It's got all these, this computer that optimizes the performance as you ride and all this bullshit. Like, come on. Yeah, you could do ring toss through the wheels. As one rides by, you could like throw like marbles or pebbles or try to shoot your paintball gun right through it. You know what I mean? Could be fun. All right, people, we reached the hour mark. And now that I'm watching all of your comments, and I noticed that there have been none of recent, I'm going to be stopping here in a second. Let me know if you have any other questions, any other thoughts. I appreciate those of you that stuck around, particularly Group Ride NL, Louis, RS. Very appreciative. Just makes it more lively, Thanks for your time, man. Thank you. And Louis, thank you. So I think that's going to do it, people. Thanks for watching. I love doing these things impromptu. Thanks, TK. And hopefully I answered some key questions for you. If you had questions that you didn't get answered, or you access this post production, like not live, and you want to send me questions, send me a question through YouTube, EB Rider. Thanks for joining, man. Thanks for your questions. Send me questions through my YouTube channel. Just comment on a video, or through my Instagram. It's _Frickin_shredder. And I'll hit you up next time. You the sheep, man. Keep on freaking shredding. Thanks, Louis. I appreciate you. And yeah. So anyway, that's gonna do it. Thanks for watching. Whether you're live or it's taped. I appreciate you anyway. And thanks for all that joined. And that's gonna do it. God bless. Peace out.